Happy Monday, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and it's time for a Facebook Live. So I don't think I've messed it up today. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? So it's the last day of the last chance products from the former annual catalog. And then starting tomorrow, you can order from the new catalog. Let me get that. So that's this new catalog. You are able to order from it starting tomorrow. And it's always on the back in tiny, tiny print. If you're ever wondering about ordering dates. Oh, and look, here we're going to use Cheerful Daisies, and there's some all on the back of the catalog there. And there's some on the front of the catalog, too. So this is the set that I thought I'd use today, just to get us started on the new catalog. And it's got these fun little daisies, little half daisies, some full ones, the center parts, the leaves, and a couple sentiments, and the stem of, if you make a daisy on a branch. And it has, oh good, Claudia, I'm glad your order's coming this week. It has matching dies and this fun little label. And this piece that kind of looks like coral or ferns, or I'm sure we'll find something to do with it. And it has this little piece that I think is a center for a daisy, but I'm not positive. So we'll wait and see. I was also glancing at this today. These almost look like if you stamped them in red, they'd be kind of like a poinsettia looking thing, and you could do a Christmas card with it. So I don't know, that's just kind of in my mind. I thought that looked like that. And it has coordinating paper that goes with it. I've cut a piece out of this one. So this is already set as a one-sheet wonder for you. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards if you wanted to do that. And then the back is Moody Mauve. And this is really a nice, bright field of daisies, isn't it? And the back of this one, Pebbled Path. And this is really pretty. Look at those. You know, that's Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. And the back is looks like maybe Pretty Peacock and green, garden green, maybe. Look at those Moody Mauve, Bubble Bath, Wild Wheat, our new color. And look at this. How pretty is that? You can cut this and get 3 card fronts, and then use the top and bottom for other parts. Or you could do a slimline card with this one. And I think this is either Balmy Blue or Boho Blue. And then this would be Copper Clay. Another field of daisies. And that's Boho Blue, yeah. Let's see what color green they suggest. Oh, they have Azure Afternoon, Boho Blue, Bubble Bath, Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Garden Green, I thought so, Lemon Lolly, Maudie Move, Pebbled Path, Pretty Peacock, and Wild Wheat. That's a lot of colors, isn't it? All mixed up in this paper. And you know how much I like Asian. This almost looks Asian to me. So we'll be using some of that on one of our cards. So let's get started on our first card. It's fairly simple. And we are going to use Lemon Lolly and Boho Blue. This is from the In Color DSP pack. And it was on my desk from the other day when I did my other live, so that's why we're using it today. If there's something on my desk, I'll usually go ahead and use it. So the first thing I'm going to do is emboss this. And I'm going to use these polka dots made me think of this bubble embossing folder. Now this is an online only item. So if you want it, want to have one like this, you need to look in the online store. It will not be in a catalog, and it's while supplies last. So we're just going to run this through the cut and emboss machine. I believe when you order that bubble, it's 3 embossing folders in a pack. Look at that. It's such a deep emboss. It really gives quite a bit of texture to that card front. We're going to mount this on Boho Blue. I don't know if I didn't cut the paper. Maybe not. So here, we'll cut a piece. Or if I did, I've put it somewhere. So we'll do this 4 and an 8. And 5 and 1, 2, 3 eighths. Is that gonna do it? Yeah. I love this color. It is so pretty. Would like to have some clothes. That color. Now, this is a fairly simple card, simple layout. Hi Pam, thanks for joining us today and sharing. Hope your Monday is going well. So far so good at this house. It's been kind of quiet. I guess that's probably a good thing. Now we'll just mount this on a regular card base. I'm sorry, I should have put my paper on the other side. I'm reaching under the camera. I'll try to do it left-handed. And we'll go ahead and put our polka dot on here. And we'll be about ready to start some stamping. And we'll get inky. right, so the first thing we want to do is stamp our daisy, and I'm going to stamp it in boho blue. Well, while we were eating lunch, I was looking at pictures of daisies, and a blue daisy is called a marguerite daisy. I didn't know. I just decided that it could be blue because I like blue. So now I'm going to let the outline of the daisy be Misty Moonlight, just to give it a little more definition. I thought about Night of Navy, but then I think Misty Moonlight will be fine. Hi, Iris. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad that you've started stamping. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Before you know it, you'll be a professional. Now we can line these up. The die, it's two-step stamping. So this one's going to fill in the color, and all we have to do is see the lines that match. I think turning it this way might help me a little bit. And of course, if it's not perfect, nothing bad will happen, because nobody's perfect. But we should be able to line these up pretty. That one right there has a kind of little pointy part. I think that'll help us figure out how to line that up. Isn't that pretty? I think, to me, when this dries, it gets a little lighter looking. So you might notice that if you're stamping with it. And we need to stamp the center part. We're going to do that with Daffodil Delight. And you just kind of wiggle this around until you think it's filling in that space the correct way. I think I have room for some leaves over here. And we're going to do those with Granny Apple Green. Because I need the right stamp, the leaf. And we need a stem, and we're going to stamp that with Pebbled Path. I think I have a scrap here. Yeah, that will work for the stem. Probably have room over here, but I don't want to push it. Oh, I'm so glad Misty Moonlight came back and is in the shuffle of colors, because I really like it. I'm happy with all the color changes. I think they've done a good job of giving us a good variety and some fresh new colors. So now we can die cut these. Now if you choose not to get the dies, I think you could pretty easily fussy cut most of these images. At least the leaves and the daisy and the stem. We all have budgets, but I think this one is one worth investing in. Now Now, the way this one works is you can cut this daisy out, but you also have the choice of cutting out just some color, or all white here. And I actually was looking at a quilt pattern, and it had the daisies made out of polka dot fabric. So I thought that would be cute. It needs to be small polka dots for here, so I'm going to look for something like that. I think that'd be something different. And I bet we will have something with a small, there's that funny looking stem there, petal. Line that up. And we'll cut out a leaf. I think I need another piece of tape. Oh, you know, Pam, the new in colors, we're going to like them more in the fall. And I think we're going to like them as paired neutrals. Like, you know how when you make a layer with, instead of basic black to frame your layer, you might do pebbled path. Or if you're layering a Halloween card, you might use the wild wheat. I think we'll like it for that reason. They are not the most fun, happy colors, but I think we'll get used to them, and we'll use them in different ways than we ever expected to. But I do love the blue and the mauve the best, but I kind of like that pebbled path. I can see it being a really great neutral for us. Or using it for sentiments. When you don't want something as dark as black, then I think pebbled path will work fine. I had an extra leaf, so we'll use that. And it would have been nice if they had given us 2 leaves in this one, but it's got so many pieces, I guess they couldn't sneak another one in there. And there's our branch. I need to put my dies where I won't mislay them. We can just always look on the positive side of those colors. I think we'll get used to them. Okay, now we're about ready to, we got one more thing we need to do. I'm going to create a layer for the card front using the deckled labels. This is honestly my favorite lately. That and the new Countryside Inn. I like those too, but I think the deckled labels are pretty versatile. Do you remember when we had the deckled ruler and you had to tear your own paper by laying the ruler down? I was never very good at that. Now we're going to put our daisy on here, but that's kind of plain. So we're going to put a little yellow on there using Daffodil Delight. It'll just make it pop better. To have a little color behind our daisy. push hard to get this yellow to show up. We want it nice and bright, like sunshine. Okay. Now I think we can go ahead and put our card together. These polka dots are pretty well defined, so I'm just going to glue this down and not use dimensionals. You know, if you like to run a piece of maybe retired cardstock as a layer for when you're mailing your cards, these dots would be perfect for that, because they're going to create a nice safety barrier for you, for your cards. Now I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. Should just take a few, not too many. Kathy, I have said that. It's a place called Stampin Storage. Stamp and Storage. But I'll be glad to send you the link again if you want. And if you subscribe to their emails, they're pretty good about having sales. Maybe free shipping, maybe a percentage off, different things that they do. And they have so many great products for organization. We want to they know what crafters like in the way of organization. They don't just do stamping, they do quilting and not just Stampin' Up. They have other companies that they create custom size things for different products. And I'll show you in just a minute after I get these dots on here. What I buy. They make two sizes of these. I think this is 6x7, and then they have a 5x7. And I'll buy some of each. And then this is separate, but it's an envelope. And then you can slide your dies in there so that they don't fall off, and if they fall off, they're in the envelope and sort of safe. So it's a nice little organ, and they sell a box that will hold these, but you can, it's made out of wood, and to me it's kind of heavy, but you can find some others like at home or Hobby Home Goods, you know, in the kitchen supply area, you can find something that holds these. So there's always ways to make it work. And now we'll put our little leaves on here. I didn't lose so many dies, but I misplaced dies before I had a system to organize them, because I would lose one, or I'd get it in the wrong envelope, and then it would show up 3 months later, like a Christmas die mixed up in a daisy die. But this way it's pretty easy to keep them organized. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment with Misty Moonlight. and it's the sentiment from this set. It's called Wishing You the Brightest Birthday. I think that works well. And it fits the label that is in the set. So now we can die cut this, and we're pretty much done with these. That going through there. And there's our label. And I think we'll put it right about there with some dimensionals. I'll let that overlap a little bit since we didn't. And then we're going to make a little bow out of linen thread. I think we'll do it around about 3 times. Fluff it out nice and pretty. It's a little bit country looking here, not too. I'll put that little bow right there. We need a couple glue dots, I think, to hold that down. And, oh, now, of course, you know, we need some bling, don't we? Now, in this, if you buy the suite, then the faceted gems, solid gems, they come in the lemon lolly and boho blue and copper clay. Of course, we're going to use the boho blue here, because the lemon just wouldn't show up quite so good on this card. Now I know if you've read the new catalog, there are some new accessory tips for your take a pick tool. It's, I think, an X-Acto knife kind of end and a roller that does perforations maybe. Those are not available tomorrow. They have not shown up in the warehouse yet, so just be aware that if you want those, you're going to have to wait a couple days until they show up in the warehouse. Shipping is always an issue, but I think having just one thing unavailable is pretty awesome. I'm not going to color the center part all the way, but I'm just going to put a couple dots of Wink of Stella to give it a little shine. And then I had, of course, a piece of scrap we'll put on the inside, and we'll be done. So that's our first card. And let's push a few things out of the way here for our second card. I think I only need Granite Garden Green, so we'll put all the ink away. This one's going to be a little bit of a fun fold. Remember, I showed you this piece of paper that will give you, it's like your own pre-printed one-sheet wonder. And we're going to use these two pieces there. So we're going to have to do a little careful cutting to get these right. So all we got to do is line that up pretty carefully in our trimmer. Looks like I just knocked my scoring blade out of my trimmer. I'm going to have to figure out where it went. Now there's a little line here, and that should get us to the right space. I think we did pretty good. Now we'll run this through. Can kind of usually feel that you've got it cut right. Now we have these two. I just slid that scoring tool right out of the slot. That happens occasionally. And now we're going to divide these. Now this will give us a 4 by 4 image. And now this one, we want to cut it down to, oh, let's see, 4. It's a little, might be a little bit longer than, no, it's right at 4. And we're going to do 1 1/4. And the next one's going to be 1. So we're using most all of this little paper here. I guess I could save that. So we'll put these to the side. We'll be using those in a minute. But now I need to put my scoring blade back in here. There we go. And we're going to make kind of a book fold card, but it's a little different. So if you need the measurements, I will put them in the description for you after the video. So we have a 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. 6 3/4, and 8 7/8. I think that's the end of the trimmer for right now. We'll see. So we're going to go ahead and fold our paper, burnish it. This one will get folded this direction. Then the book end of the card will get folded in the other direction. So you have a mountain and a valley. So now our book fold card is going to become an easel card. To make sure it's nice and glued together, we're going to use tear and tape. It gets a little more wear and tear than a regular card fold, so tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus is a good choice. Put a little extra piece right there. Just to make sure we get a good crease, get good adhesive on our card. So there's our book fold. Most traditional book folds are not easels. They're just a book fold. And we usually decorate them here with a ribbon or tie, and then it opens kind of like a book. But this one's going to be a little bit different. So we have our 4x4 piece. Oh, look at those. So pretty on that bubble bath. And we need a piece of garden green to frame it. I guess I did not do that either, so we'll cut that piece. So our pink daisy thing is 4x4, so we're going to do 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 just to give it a frame. So it'll have a little bit of a pop. And if you didn't cut that exactly right, you can always go back and trim it. It is hard to cut right on those lines of a whole 12x12 sheet of paper. But take your time, because you don't want to waste your paper. I don't. I try kind of stingy with my paper here. All right, we've got that. Now remember these pieces that we created here. We're going to adhere them to a piece of green. Let's see, I think this is 1 inch. It's got to be this one. It's just going to have a little bit of green. I think I could trim that down just a tiny bit, don't you? Just to give it a little more of a border. I think we'll be happier with that. And then that other one was 1 inch, so we need a 1 1/8. We'll go ahead and cut that while we're trimming. And yeah, that's going to give us a nicer border there. Just a little touch. And then this one will give a nice border here. We are going to need a sentiment. So let's stamp. I pulled Hooray, It's Your Day, and this is from Irresistible Blooms. We're going to stamp it with Garden Green. Because this is an easel card, we need an easel stopper. I don't know what those are called. That's what I call it. That could be a little darker. Let's ink that up some more. It's a good thing I don't have to worry about it being straight here, because we're going to cut it out. Because that's pretty crooked. We can just cut that out and it'll be fine. What are you planning to order tomorrow? I honestly have not looked in the catalog a whole lot. I think I'll have to do that tonight. I'll just order a few things. A little bit of that we couldn't order on the pre-order. A little bit of ink smudge there. That looks good though. Now this we'll put on with dimensionals when we get our card put together. So here's how our card's going to work. We're going to put these little pieces here on the binding of the book. Guess that's what we'll call it. And this one will go on the inside. I have a piece for the inside here, and it will be just about like that, but I'm not going to glue it down because I need to stamp a sentiment, and I haven't decided what my inside sentiment is going to be. So we're just going to lay that in there so you'll see how it's supposed to be. And now this will, since it's not glued down, it's kind of getting in my way. So this will be what holds our easel up. And then our pink daisy part is going to go right there. So we need to put some glue here, but don't get too close to the side and bottom edge because it'll ooze out on you. And we're going to leave just 1/8 of an inch border of the yellow all the way around. Who would have thought pink and yellow would look so pretty together? But it does. It looks so cute. We'll let that dry and we'll put some dimensionals on our card, our little sentiment. It needs to be raised up so that it will hold the easel part of your card. I knew I had cut that green piece and I didn't see it. And here it is. So now I have another green piece. Now we'll let that go right there to hold our easel. cute. And now I've got some garden green ribbon. We're going to put a little bow on here. This is actually, and this is in the new catalog. It carried over. It's from last year. It's a pack of green and red that is for Christmas, but garden green is garden green, and it works fine on this card. So I was glad to be able to use it. We'll trim our ends off. I have enough ribbon to make a bedspread probably. So I'm always happy when I can use what I have. You know, Pam, I like this daisy one too. And when I first saw it, I thought, do I need another? You know, we had the daisy punch and all, but this one's different because of the way the embossing works on it and the detail that you get with the dies. So it's just enough difference to make you think you need it. I don't want to cover up our words quite so much there. And now for our bling, we have these pastel sequins, and look at that. They're just the perfect pink to add a little shine to our card. These sequins are so great because they mail flat and they don't break. Have you ever seen your things go through the machine and the machine smushes your diamonds? You get diamond dust. You could have used the gold on here too. I think that would have been pretty. So there's our second card. A Book Fold Easel card. Just a tad different from what we're used to making or receiving. So there's the first card, or second card. You guys, it's a pretty good view there from above. And then our first card. Our Marguerite daisy, and then our bubble bath and white daisies. I appreciate you popping in and spending a little while with me today. And I hope to see you Wednesday. Happy shopping tomorrow, if you choose to shop. Or happy shopping today if you're going to pick up a few last-minute items. And I will see you towards the middle of the week. Bye.